Yes, we've reached 1 year of What's IGN Crushing on podcast. It has been a tumultuous but exciting time, I think, where we got to reconnect with old friends, make some new ones, and learn just which embarrassing crushes everyone had. Throwback to Jamie in episode 1 saying that she had a crush on Kurt Russell. This is just a short little episode, especially for you, our amazing listeners. So, reminiscing about this here, which was, I suppose, a hectic year for most people. So, when we started this in June 2020, in the middle of the pandemic, Rebecca, did you think the show would, number one, still be around a year later? And, it will be what it is today?
Well, I didn't actually have any expectations when we started, apart from the fact that we would have a lot of fun doing this, which we have had. But all the hard work that you put into it, especially, has obviously turned it into what it is now. And I'm quite excited to see where this goes.
And actually, I literally just thought it would be us messing it out, talking nonsense. I didn't think it would be serious stuff and have
Yeah.
proper professionals on the podcast. I thought it would just be us and some of our friends and saying, "Oh my word, I watched this last week," and
No, that's cute. No, that's cute. But the thing is, I always knew that is cute. But I always knew that you had connecties. Like you knew people who knew people, and I feel like it's also easy for you to just have a quick conversation with one person, and then they enjoy it, and then they tell their friends, and then they're like, "Hey, you should go on this podcast." I don't know.
Are you it's so easy for you?
I
And
might.
I'm looking at my empty bottle of Rescue Remedy, before every interview, topping it back. But
Obviously not promoting alcohol use.
no. No, well, I
Disclaimer.
mean, if Rescue Remedy wants to sponsor an episode, hello. Every episode is brought to you by Rescue Remedy. I don't even know what's the name of the brand. The purple one. I don't even know.
Maybe it's related to Scott's emulsion. I
I
like
like
you,
you.
you help me to grow.
I like it.
I like it.
A funny story. I actually did. I don't know. Okay, we'll get back on topic now. But I didn't like Scott's emulsions. It tasted so cuck.
It tasted like orange.
It tasted like orange.
No, it tastes like orange sadness. It was a bottle of
Oh,
sadness that was supposed to help
I
you
know.
grow.
I used to gag when I used to drink. I don't think I finished my Scott's emulsions. That's why I'm so short.
No, I came from a family where my mom had obviously given up on um child when my mom had obviously given up on the fourth child, me. And so I think I had a neighbor's leftover Scott's emulsion when I was about 15 for the first time. And so
Just
obviously
that
at that point we had stopped, growing was no longer an option.
But it also looks
Anyway.
so lekker in the advert. That's why I wanted to try it. A friend of ours, a girl that was at school, that's Lauren Jansen, when she met Jamie, who was on the first episode of the podcast for the first time in grade 8, Jamie was really tall, or compared to all of our shorties. And then Lauren said to her, "Hey, Jamie, do you read your Bible and pray every day?" And she was like, "Why?" I don't know, there's like a Sunday school song that goes "Read your Bible, pray every day, and you will grow, grow, grow." And you will grow. And I was like, that is a very high level joke for 13-year-olds.
Yeah, wow. Lauren Jansen.
Um, so what were some of your favorite moments of the podcast over the last year?
It was definitely, you're speaking about Jamie, and she's your cousin, so she's someone you know well. I definitely enjoyed the one with Inga
Mm.
because she's our homie. especially the outtakes for me were the most enjoyable bits, the bits that we didn't actually add to the podcast, which I still kind of want to make into a new podcast and release. Um, but I enjoyed that one. I enjoyed the one with Lindy.
Mm,
Um, I definitely enjoyed the one with Fani,
mm,
and then the one with Mia, because she definitely highlighted a few things that have been on my mind over the past couple of years about Cape Town and um, like some of the things we have to deal with as Cape Townians, like the split in the city.
mm.
Um, and yeah, it helped me finish my masters as well. I added some of that content from the podcast
Oh,
to my
yay.
masters.
Like to
um,
help a sister out.
yeah,
Okay.
so thanks. Holla.
Um,
And you? Your
for me,
faves?
it's like as you were saying that you said so many of my favorites.
Yeah, but
Um,
actually no, isn't it unfair of me to ask you because now you're gonna get like hate mail? You're
yeah,
like, yo, you didn't mention me as your favorite
yeah. No, I
guest.
enjoyed every episode of the
There we go.
podcast.
Quite a pragmatic
Every guest
answer.
had their own, their own, their own exciting moments.
Um,
All of all of them have been amazing. I really enjoyed, like, I mean, just off the top of my head, like my good friend Alison, like she is an amazing
oh
person and she's so
yeah.
funny and she's so well read and she talks so like the way she looks at content is so interesting. The way she looks at TV shows, the way she looks
Yeah.
at movies, the way she looks at books. I've always enjoyed that about her and it was so
Mm,
great to be able to share her and the like I mean, being a doctor at one of the most the hospitals that were struggling the most during COVID at that time,
mm,
it was I
yeah.
felt that episode was very special.
Yeah.
Um, Fate the Wing Saga highlight
Oh, of course.
as our first international. Yes, especially this part didn't make it into the recording because the recorder didn't include it. But Hannah van Westhuizen she like said, "Oh, I'm from South Africa," and I was like, "What?" I didn't know that, and that was quite cute. One of the actors in the show that didn't make it in. A lot of stuff didn't make it in from the Waylene episode because that was so long, our actual recording, and then
Oh
what
my
we had
gosh,
to
the
snip it
Waileen
down
episode.
to. She was it was we had like such a deep conversation about um the use of talking about the way we like whether you tell comedy from your own life or just observational comedy or what you see
Mm,
around you and the
mm,
verses like that was such an interesting conversation that didn't make it onto the show. um there's
yeah.
so many uh like Talia Goldberg, the first time I met her was when did the interview, and we had such an amazing conversation, and I really enjoyed talking to her. Yeah, no, everyone was great. Amy Jefter, I'm such a big fan of her work. I'm like,
You're
at least
essentially listing all the guests that you've had since the
Sloan,
start of the
Lavin,
show.
my friend, Jamie Pierre,
Yeah, oh my
Ivan.
gosh. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no,
Going through the
everybody
list.
was amazing. Like,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
the last episode, Nico, Dream Come True.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh my gosh.
Kevin Smith, Dream Come True. Hello.
Jeez
Club Boy,
Louise.
Dream Come True. Yeah, there's just been a lot.
Yeah.
I've loved it all. This has been a
I
very
love the
blessed
look
year
on
for
your
me.
face. Yeah, the look on your face right now is just this feeling of like,
I'm like trying
wow,
to remember.
cannot believe it. Yeah.
The thing is, like, if I list, there's so many more that I enjoyed. There's so much, there's so many conversations where which didn't make it to air because of
Mm.
time, because I wasn't recording, because of many things. Um, but I feel that this year has been extremely blessed. Like it's
Yeah.
been a, obviously like I think I said this to you once off air. I was like, feel like we should drink every time I mention Cosmo, but like I mean, like losing my job and then not
Mm.
having, and then just starting this out of pure, just a need. Like I've written about this before on Twitter and stuff like that. Sorry if I'm rambling, but like
No,
I've
this
written
can
about
all
this,
be
but like
edited.
when I said I'm gonna be a journalist, like back in the
Uh,
day, and it's like this is what I was gonna do. So many people, and I especially see one like standing out for me. It was the boss at my part-time job, like the owner of the shop that I worked at. They were like,
uh.
"Oh, I don't think she could be a journalist. She's so shy." And I thought
Oh my
that too. And I
god.
was like, "Shit, I can't be a journalist. How am I going to interview people? I'm so
Mm,
nervous about meeting new people."
yeah,
And then I for like I worked in just writing and it was fun. I never had to talk to anybody new. And
yeah.
then within like starting at Cosmo, I just had to crash course. I just had to be interviewing celebs and I was freaking and the first thing I thought when I lost my job is that I'm gonna lose this skill because I'm gonna go back to being nervous to interview people again if I
Oh
ever go back to
wow.
work. And the
Wow.
podcast was such a great outlook for me because I could practice that skill.
Mm,
So, I
mm.
mean, I could just interview people, and even if it started out just my friends, I could just chat to people, and it wouldn't like I could still practice that muscle.
Yeah.
And I
Oh,
didn't expect it to grow as much as it did today. I didn't expect people to like. I still, I can't, and I think we've spoken about this before, but I can't wrap my head around people wanting to be on the podcast. Like,
oh my
I'm like, what?
goodness.
How? Why would you want to talk to me? Why do you want to be on the stage?
No,
But
listen, babe, you are a natural, okay? Since I've known you too long now, um, but it comes naturally to you, despite what you think.
it does not. It does not. Although I do,
It seems as though it
I do
does.
like, I feel very sorry for my parents because like I'm like I wonder if other parents get interviewed as hectically as my parents. I'm like, when you thought of your life when you were 16 years old, did you think it would become what it is today? And within the parameters of apartheid, did you think it was possible for
Oh
you? They're like,
wow.
I'm like, you guys, there is no repression of feelings here. I get everything now. So yes,
Oh
that's
gosh.
what my parents have to deal with when I'm not interviewing people on the podcast. But
Yeah.
otherwise, like
So this was
I'm
a
very
nice
grateful.
outlet for you.
Yeah, I'm very grateful for what this has become. I'm very grateful for this year. As you said, I'm excited to see what will happen next.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm very grateful for the people who have been on the podcast before. Like everyone that's been on the podcast, I'm so grateful for them for wanting to be on here. But especially those who came in the beginning when there was no chance of anyone ever listening. I will be eternally grateful for that. Yeah, it's been a fun ride, I think.
Yeah. 100%.
So let's take things a little bit lighter, and I just want to ask you. So I think it's unfair that we are. Well, I'm always asking the guests this question, but very rarely, we have to deal with this. So who's
Mm.
your first celebrity crush?
So luckily you kind of asked me this earlier, so I could kind of prepare for this. And I had to do a bit of a Google, like what did we watch when we were children? But I first said Kevin Federline, but I meant I meant Kevin from Backstreet Boys, the one with the black hair. I don't know his name. And are you still there?
Mm. Yeah.
Um, and I don't know who came first, but it was either Ricky Martin, she bangs, or Justin Timberlake when he still had the 2 minute noodle hair.
I think Ricky Martin is still a pretty cool guy. Like, he looks like a nice person. That's why I'm like,
Yeah,
he looks like a
yeah,
lovely guy.
yeah, peace out. But yeah, Ricky Martin with a good smile. He wore a couple of tight pants. Um, and he had some good dance moves. That's all you needed in a crush.
I revealed mine in the Allison episode. So if you didn't, told the whole story about. So mine was my first crush was definitely John Stamos. There's no two ways about it. I loved him from Full House, and there's a whole story as to me naming my dog after him in that episode, which you loved. Um, but but
John
um, but
Stamos.
I but I definitely think that like so when I have celeb crashes like most people have like normal crashes
Mm,
where like where I would be like this is the one and it lasts like maybe sometimes into a year like I'll be intensely into this person.
mm-hmm.
Um so I've had like quite a few over the years and there's there's obviously those that stand out. There's diary entries about some. It's problematic. I have this huge Titanic poster that my sister won at work for me because I love. I've got literal books on Leonardo DiCaprio, like those books that they used to sell at like paperweight, where it's
Yeah.
like scrapbooks that people used to make of him and facts about his life. I've got like
Oh,
six
wow.
books like that. It's mad. Anyway,
Yeah.
but I
So,
definitely think so. I've already told the the John Stamos story, but here's another one
mm.
for y'all. So my most embarrassing crush is definitely Cristiano Ronaldo. But like I know that that doesn't is not unique because a lot of
Yeah.
colored girls like Cristiano Ronaldo. But like, oh no, I don't. I think I thought that I could actually be with Cristiano Ronaldo when I was like, what? How old was I?
I sensed
15,
that.
16,
Yeah,
16.
I sensed that for a full 4 years in high school. I was like, this girl is going to find a way to meet Cristiano Ronaldo one day and make a couple of babies, and it's going to happen. You were so convinced that you were going to meet him and like be with him that I believed you as well. I was there for it the whole way, ready to be
And now
bridesmaid.
looking back, I'm like, what? Because a lot of my crashes, I will stand by.
Mm.
Be, like Colin Moss, I will stand by Colin Moss.
Oh,
Even though he
yeah.
made some All Lives Matter type tweets afterwards.
Ooh,
Um,
near
it was after
Colin.
him. Do you remember when I liked Jude Law?
Jude
Like that was
Law.
very.
Of
Yeah, I made
course,
you
I
guys
remember
watch
Jude
go to the
Law.
movies all the time. So Jude Law
Your
was just
Karen.
before Cristiano Ronaldo. So, so
Oh
like
gosh.
I don't even know where I was like all of like Jude Law I will stand by, but Cristiano I'm like Nickel. If I so
Yeah, what were
versin.
you thinking? Yeah, but you had notebooks like Man United. He was in Man United, right? You had
Yeah.
like Man United covered notebooks with Cristiano's face in the middle of it, with just like hearts all around. Karen for Cristiano. Lots
I used
like
to do that game
love forever.
where you work up percentages with our
Oh, we
names.
all
I
did that. Yeah, yeah. And then you were like, no, it's definitely not 11%. You're like, you like fudged the numbers just a little bit. Oh gosh, I saw this. I did not judge. I saw this and I enjoyed it.
but anyway,
And so
looking
did
back,
everyone else at our high school.
yeah, fuck everybody knew. It was like that was like,
But the
people would
cool
be like
thing is,
it'll be like Jack and Jenny and
hello.
whatever. And then it'll be like Karen and Cristiano Ronaldo.
Oh,
If
but
you
I
can
was
get
gonna
it.
say the cool thing is that you always knew what you liked. Your tastes were quite defined. There was no iffiness about how you felt about certain people. And if you didn't like someone, you were like, nope, why waste your time?
I'm
Even
still
with
like
actual
that.
people in real life, yeah. Even some boyfriends of mine, you were like, why?
Yeah, so we've admitted some of our like a bit more embarrassing ones. But yeah, guys, tell us who your embarrassing crushes were. So tell us what is your favorite episodes? What are your favorite guests? Like we also like to know. And who you'd want to see in the future.
Mm.
This is a team effort. We love getting interactions with the fans, with the listeners. We love getting we love chatting to you guys and you know, like making this seem like a collab. But we do have some exciting things coming to celebrate the anniversary. So stay tuned to our social media channels, Instagram and Twitter especially. We can be found at Crashing on Pod. Yeah, well, let's have a blast of a time as we get ready for season 3. Yay!
Woo!
The podcast can be found at Crushing on Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. You can find more information about this and all our other episodes at our website, crushingonpodcast.com, and send any feedback to crushingonpod@gmail.com. Join our Facebook group, Crushing On Club, where we chat about the show, celebrity news, recommendations, the whole shebang. Let us know what you think about what was discussed in this week's episode by sending us a voice note or email to crushingonpod@gmail.com. The show is produced by me, Karen, and Rebecca Barches. The show is edited and engineered by Rebecca Barches. Our logo was designed by Nathifa Maroof. And the show was created in partnership with IGN Africa. If you like the show, tell everyone that you can, any way that you can. Keep up to date with all our episodes by subscribing to the show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. And please rate and review the episodes on Apple Podcasts, as it helps others find the show. We'll be back next week with another in-depth conversation with a pop culture lover. See you then!